Life feels like a video game for you, Pisces, and that's because I saw a chessboard and I saw a plank floating down a river, kind of like in those like mobile games that you play where you're trying to like navigate down the river without hitting the rocks, or like you got to jump the plank, you know. That's what I saw when I felt the energy behind your cards on the board. Now, looking at the cards on the board, we've got a lot of grunt work. We've got a lot of labor. So the Page of Pentacles is labor. It is like the sweat off your brow. And then we got Four of Pentacles, which is like maintenance. This is like a survival game. It's not like a fun game. It's like a game of survival. So like I said, I saw a chessboard, which is the game, and then I saw a plank floating down the river. But if you actually mess up the plank floating down the river game, you die. Like, you hit the rock, like you fall unconscious and drowned, you know? And that's what life might feel like for you, or at least just this week, because this is a weekly reading for you guys. On the bottom, we have the Three of Swords. So you guys aren't that happy about having to play this game. You're just not thrilled about it. In fact, Three of Swords is having it be it's a pain in your ass. You know, it's a pain in your ass. Maybe you're just sick of your job and you're sick of just having to work to survive. You work to make your daily bread and always being maybe living paycheck to paycheck, right? Like the survival game. Anyway, it's a pain in your ass and you're sick of it. And then underneath that, we've got the Empress and the Seven of Cups. It's not glamorous. Hey, and you're like, when do I get some glamour? When do I get some glitz and glam, some luxury? There's just the Empress here is basically missing. When do I get to look pretty? When do I get to, you know, do my nails? Or even when do I get to have a spa day, right? Maybe you guys are so worried about the basics that you wouldn't even consider the ability to have a spa day, the ability to have a day for yourself, because you're worried about, you know, just getting shit done, like doing your laundry. If you're worried about doing the laundry, how are you ever going to make room for a spa day? But that's what I'm getting here. Let's pull Oracle cards to find out more. Anything else? Tell me more about Pisces, the reading for Pisces. Wow, we got the Queen and the Queen, the Queen and the Queen, the King and the Queen coming out together in these next couple of cards here. You guys are the King and the Queen. Maybe you are like a single parent, you know, and you have to do everything. Or you just have a lot on your plate. Some of you Pisces just do a lot's expected of you. You're expected to know a lot, specifically with the book. Maybe you're the only person who knows how to cook in your household, and so you have to cook for everybody. Or you're the only person who knows how to, who has a degree, and so you bring in the real money, and everybody else maybe chips in, but you're the person whose expertise is really holding shit down. And so there's a sense that you guys almost are like in charge of everything, and everything's kind of resting on your shoulders, and you can handle it. You guys can handle it, but it doesn't change the fact that it makes life feel like you're in a perpetual game of some sort of survival game, and it never really ends. So that's also here with the Tower going with the foot here. It's also a sense of things continuing in the future in the same way. So it does look like you guys are going to continue to have to play the part of King and Queen for a while. This is a futuristic card. The Wizard's Tower sees far into the future, so it does seem like you'll have to play a role of, maybe you're juggling, you have to take care of the household, and you have to work, and you have to do, pay the bills, and you have to cook dinner. Maybe you're fulfilling just a lot of roles in your life, and it's going to continue, and there's really no way around that. On the bottom, we have the bread, because it's necessary. Somebody's got to do it, and that somebody ends up being you, Pisces, a lot of times. There's no way around it. The bread with the 0. If you don't do it, then there won't be any bread, right? Maybe you're just the head of the household. Like I said, you might be the single parent, that sort of a thing. There's a lot of responsibility between being both the king and the queen in one person. And at the same time, look, underneath that is Leo. You guys normally it doesn't feel as heavy normally for you guys. Normally, you can brush it off. And it's just lately that it feels like a survival game. For whatever reason, it's just this week that it feels like a survival game. So let's go ahead and pull oracle cards, or pull advice cards, and see if there's some advice, something you guys can do to lighten the mood, lighten up your life. Maybe this is really just a matter of understanding the energy for the week, and the energy for the week is kind of making it feel more heavy than it normally does. Let's see what we get for advice. Any advice here for Pisces? Any advice for Pisces, please? Okay. Well, this is getting interesting. So the advice here is you can't do everything alone. You literally can't. And that is self-sabotage. Look, Ace of Wands with Seven of Swords. That's you trying to do things by yourself, trying to, like I said, be the king and queen, and housekeeper, right? And whatever, fulfilling all these roles. And you're going to fail. You're setting yourself up for failure. Seven of Swords. What do you have to do? Well, the advice is the bottom 3 cards. The bottom 3 cards, Page of Wands. That's somebody else. So you guys are the king and queen, all right? You can't be any more people. The Page of Wands is somebody younger. So if you're a single parent, it's time to tell your kid here's your chore list, okay? Here's your chore list. Page of Wands, Two of Cups is the other person who could be helping, who could be doing something to chip in. And you know what? They actually might benefit. So with the sun here, it's like, if it's a child, they're gonna enjoy helping, or they're gonna get a benefit out of it. It's gonna be good for them. It's gonna be good for someone else who is potentially supposed to help to actually help. Either they want to help and you've really given them the open door to you. Maybe they're just waiting for you to ask for help and they would love to help. But that's what this is saying. It's like delegate and say, hey, here's your chore list. Can you help do some chores? And this person actually ends up either doing it well, or it ends up just being good for this person. Or like I said, the Sun card, it works out. It works out well if you just delegate and have somebody younger, somebody with more muscle. Page of Wands, somebody who's got more muscle to do some of the heavy lifting for you. Whether this is at home or at, like I said, I gave the single parent example. This can be in your work too. Maybe you're supposed to delegate some of the work at your actual job. You know, that's just one example. On the bottom here, we have the Hangman reversed. The Hangman reversed is, like I said, it's never going to work out. You're always going to feel like you are playing the survival game unless you start having people chip in a little bit around you. The people who, Two of Cups is like the people who you are connected with. Not just like random people, like see a person on the street and be like, hey, can you come over and paint my house? No, the people who you're actually connected to in life. So you got to change your perspective. Hangman reversed. You're not in charge of everything. You can't be the king and queen all the time. So that's changing your perspective. So that's the advice. And look, the Hermit. Look for specific things you can delegate. Like I said, the dishes, the trash. It's like if you have a young kid, there are still things that young kid can help out with. There are still things, you just gotta look for them with the Hermit. You gotta look for the little things that will actually kind of take the load off of you. Find what they can help you with to take the load off of you. That's what this is saying, so that Four of Pentacles, things are stable. Because the Four of Pentacles, without the Page of Pentacles next to it, that's stability without having to be sweating about it. So it's basically not playing the game. It's not playing the survival game, okay? And it definitely takes a load off of you guys. The King of Cups with the Ten of Wands. Having somebody else do some of that stuff. Let's move on to the Oracle cards, see if there's any other advice, and then we will close out your reading. Any last advice here for Pisces, please? Any last advice? Last advice. Ooh! Wow. Look, we've got coal coming out. Coal coming out next to Venus. That's kind of like financial burdens, okay? Financial burdens. And it's a lot of them. The rabbit is kind of like a lot of things because the rabbits multiply. So it means multiplicity. So you either got a lot of people riding like your coattails, you got a lot of kids. Let's say you're a single parent with a lot of kids, right? So it's like you got a lot of people riding on you. Riding on, like I said, you putting food on the table, you providing something, most likely financial, but most likely financial because of Venus, especially here. And so there's a lot of that, and it's almost like the question is, how long can you support so much? How long can you support so many people before, I don't know, you're like crack, essentially, before the weight, it gets heavier and heavier and heavier? How long? On the bottom, we have Libra. So like I said, at a certain point, people need to start like chipping in, pulling their weight. Look, Libra is pulling their weight, right? Because Libra is all about weight. So at a certain point, you got to get people pulling their weight and adding something. You know, even if they're young kids, just have them cook a simple dinner, like get dinner ready. It's like having people do anything for you. Everything that somebody else does for you takes a little bit of weight off of you. And that's what this is saying. There are ways that people can pull their own weight on some fashion, even if it's not financial, even if it takes creativity on your end to provide them an opportunity to help you out. So it might take creativity. And it might take a little bit of, like I said, the hermit, like looking around, like what can you do to help me out? And but like I said, that is the best way that you guys can take a load off of your own life and have a greater sense of stability without always scraping by, without always, scraping the bottom of the barrel, basically. In terms of your time and energy, not just finance, in terms of your time and energy. All right, Pisces, that is your reading. Thank you guys for being here. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, don't forget to follow the channel, subscribe, and also check out Patreon if you would like to really support my work. Links should be below. There's a lot of cool stuff over there. With that, I'll see you guys next time.